Back to Slothbox. I'm Lyndon Dixon, and as usual, this video is brought to you by the Excelsior Sporting Club. Today, I'm honoured to be joined by not one of the best females in the country, but one of the best female fighters on the planet, Caroline Dubois. Caroline, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Good, good. Well, I want you to take me right back to the start. How did you initially first get into boxing?
I started boxing when I was 9 years old. I followed my older brother into the sport. He boxed before me. I used to do running, swimming, gymnastics, and they were all fun. For me, I really enjoyed them. But the boxing just held a special place in my heart. Something that I really resonated with, and I really enjoyed it. From the first moment I walked into the boxing gym, I just thought, this is it. This is for me.
Mm. But the thing is, when you talk about your experience in the amateurs, you got so many medals, so many trophies, Youth Olympic gold medal. But at what point did you know like that this was going to be the career for you? Because some people they step in a gym and enjoy it, but you've turned this into your life, your career now. So, what point did you know that boxing was really for you?
Yeah, I'd say the moment I walked into the gym, I know that's really soon, and it's hard to say
Mm,
like, did you have doubts or whatever? But I remember walking into the gym thinking, how could anyone not want to box? This is what I want to do, and I thought from the moment I walked in the gym, even though there was nothing really for females, there was no real professionals, there was no pros on the weekends that you could watch and say, yeah, that's where I want to be. That's in the footsteps I want to follow. There
mm,
was no Olympics at the time when I started. There was nothing, but I just said this is it, and I'm just gonna try and see what comes around. And then thankfully, the Olympics came about, and
mm.
the momentum that came off of that was amazing. Everyone enjoyed the Olympics, and watching females at the Olympics was a real eye opener. And people seemed to enjoy it, and I was like, wow, I want to go to the Olympics. And then there was the pros, and I was like, yep, I'll go and pro as well.
Mm. Well, that's the thing. You talk about that momentum there. I mean, you signed with Boxer, massive debut in Cardiff. I think it was Eubank Jr. and Liam Williams with Clarissa Shields co-main event. I mean, what a night for someone to make their debut. Just talk to me about that a little bit.
It was amazing. It was a really, really good night for me, and I really enjoyed it. There was a massive crowd. There was a lot of energy. People really, really came out to show out for and it was just really, really good night for me. I really enjoyed it, and really good introduction into the pros. I'd never really fought with a crowd like that before.
Mm,
Usually, you get that at the Olympics, but obviously, I couldn't because it was COVID during COVID time, so
yeah, yeah.
everything was locked down, and um like they were really taking serious precautions, so we didn't really have that energy. So to have that in my first pro debut, that was a real, throw you straight into the deep waters kind of thing, and I really enjoyed it.
Mm. Well, the thing is, you made that pro debut. It was a massive success. Everyone lifted their heads and they took down your name. But the thing is, I think, what would you have been like, 20 years old? What was behind that decision to go pro so young? Because some people, they like to take their time in the amateurs. I mean, you look at Usyk, I think he turned pro at like late 20s. So what was behind the decision for yourself to turn pro so young?
I mean, before I went to the Olympics, when I was qualified and I'd all booked myself a ticket on the plane, and officially Olympian, whatever.
Mm,
I said to myself, I'm gonna turn pro. The plan for me was to go to Olympics, win back the gold medal, bring it
mm,
home, and turn pro. Like that was always my plan. I didn't want to stay on the GB team for too long, and I didn't want to hang around. I wanted to turn pro, and just really light up things up. And then obviously when I went to Olympics and I lost, I was devastated. Like I've never, felt as upset as I felt after losing at the Olympics. It was devastating, and I was like really confused. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to stay amateur and get that gold medal because ever since 2012 Olympics, I'd watched Katie Taylor, Natasha Jonas,
mm,
Clarissa Shields, Nicola Adams, all these girls, and I watched them perform. I watched them bring back their medals and compete, and I just said, I want to go to Olympics and I want a medal. I want to be an Olympic champion, and it was always a dream and something for me. And so when I lost, I was very devastated. I was very upset, and I was
mm.
thinking about staying on till Paris. And then my dad just basically convinced me to turn pro.
Mm. Well, it was a good decision from your dad to convince that. I mean, fast forward to now, you're 7-0, five
Mm.
knockouts, and all with Shane McGuigan. I mean, talk to me about that relationship because it just feels like the perfect fit.
Yeah, it's been great so far. I can ask it to be any better. So far, I'm growing with him. We're still building our connection, still building the relationship as a coach and a fighter. You know, I'm getting to that point where he only has to look at me and I know exactly what he wants. And um, it's just that's what we not. You know, I want him to say what he's saying, and I know exactly what he means and
Mm.
how I'm supposed to act it out. I feel like I'm getting to that point now, and I'm really, really enjoying it so far. It's really been great. I think he's a really good coach, and every day I step into the gym, that becomes confirmed for me more and more. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Mm. I just want to talk a little bit about your brother Daniel. I mean, there was a lot of drama and controversy about yourself and him when Daniel left the gym. I just want to take the time to ask, how did that affect you? Because I mean, you're still there, you're still carrying on, and
Yeah.
looking at your last performance, you're still smashing it. So, how did that affect you when that happened?
I mean, it was weird for maybe the first few days, the first few weeks, and it's a bit strange, but I mean, you have to move on. You know, I'm not a
Mm.
baby anymore. I'm not a baby. We have to continue on our lives and do what is best for us. I had to do what was best for me. I made that decision. He made his decision. My dad, obviously, my dad are obviously doing their thing, and I'm doing my thing. We just have to continue what's best for individually. You know,
Mm.
I'm fighting my fights. You know, I still got my career. He's got his, and I'm just feel like being with Shane is the best place to be right now.
And
There's nowhere even.
talking about the best place to be, I mean, you look at the stable right now. Chris Billam-Smith just came a world champion. Same with Ellie Scottney. You got yourself,
Yeah.
the Azim brothers. Talk to me about the gym because, like you say, it's the place to be.
It is genuinely, as you said there, you got everyone.
Mm.
Adam, Hassan, Ellie, Chris, there's just so many people, there's so many personalities and characters, and then, so many elite fighters like Adam and Hassan. Hassan's up and coming, but he's really putting his name out there now, and his last performance showed that he's really, really, really a good talent, and I want people to start taking notice of that. Adam, we've known how good he is for a while now. It's just about, he's headlining now. He's headlining his own shows. It's really, really good. And then obviously Ellie and Chris, world champions. What more do you want from that? Like,
Mm.
I walk into the gym and I'm training along world champions, and I can say I know what we're doing is working, and
Mm.
it's getting you to that world champion status. I just have to continue, stay persistent.
Mm. Well, let's get back to yourself a minute. I mean, I feel like you're at such an exciting point in your career because there's so much talk about you and like what you're going to do next. And I think I saw your trainer Shane talking about maybe Mikaela Mayer next. Is that
Yeah,
a fight that you would take right now?
I would take it right now. I would take it like I don't know. I don't know how many times I need to say this. I would take it right now.
Mm.
But I don't think it will happen right now, and I don't think it needs to happen right now. It needs to build. It needs to get bigger. I need to continue winning and putting on great victories and really putting the name out there for myself and really exciting people. She needs to continue doing what she's doing. And then maybe by the end of this year, early next year, realistically next year, I think we can headline at the O2 Arena,
Mm.
sell out, have a great co-main, and we can do our thing.
That would be huge. But I mean, away from the fighting in the ring for a minute, some of the boxing media work you're doing, I think, is going a bit unnoticed. I think you're doing a great job, but your early 20s, what, you're 22 years old. Is
Yeah.
this like, is it something you enjoy and something you're maybe looking to after boxing?
I don't know. Right now I'm really just living in the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, it's fun for me. Like I've always said, doing the cameras and the talking is a lot easier than getting punched in the face
Mm.
and making weight. So I'm really enjoying it. It's not really hard for me. It just comes naturally. Like somebody's asking me a question, I just answer as honestly as I possibly can, and I just really find it fun. Like going up to the shows and watching the boxing. That's always been something I've enjoyed. I always love watching boxing. I'd say I'm a fan, so getting invited to go up there and sit ringside and see the boxing up close and personal, feel the atmosphere, be in the moment. It's really good for me. I really enjoy it.
Mm. You mentioned Katie Taylor's name a little bit earlier on. That's like you watching the Olympics and looking up to her. I mean, I'm sure you watched her last fight with Cameron.
Yeah,
It was a cracking fight, and I can't wait to see it again.
yeah,
But obviously, you're going to say that you would take the winner of that fight. I know.
yeah.
But how far realistically away do you think you are from a Katie Taylor fight, a Chantelle Cameron fight?
I think realistically, I don't think me and Katie Taylor will ever fight,
Mm.
but I think me and Chantelle maybe could fight. It really depends on where the sticks fall in the rematch. I think if it's at 135 for all Kate Taylor's belts, and Kate Taylor fights Chantelle again and loses again, she's lost all her belts. She's obviously still a big marquee name and a big champion. If she wants to continue boxing, she's only going to be aiming for ways to get those belts back. So she wouldn't be messing around with someone like an up-and-coming prospect like me. I think she would only be chasing big names in the sport. You know, the Alicia Baumgardner's, who's an undisputed champion. She could move down in weight, I reckon, and fight Alicia for her belts. She could fight Mikaela Mayer. She could move up and challenge Chantelle again for 140 or 135. She'll want to fight maybe Mikaela Mayer, do that in Ireland. Like, those are the kind of fights that she'll be aiming for. Whereas, and to be fair, she's earned it. She's had those tough, grueling, fights that she didn't even have to be. Like, she rematched Delphine Pursuit behind closed doors when she didn't have to do that. She fought Tasha Jonas behind closed doors when she could have went for an easier touch. And she's been in those massive hard fights, and she's thrown herself under the bus each and every time. So my respect goes out to her. I think she's a great champion, a great advocate for female boxing, and just a legend in the game. When she retires, people are going to remember her for her victories and not her losses. Whereas Chantelle Cameron, I think she's still got a long ways to go, and I think she'll be hanging around a lot longer than, say, Kate Taylor will. When Kate Taylor retires, I think Chantelle probably will still be boxing. So me and her, realistically, I think possibly could get it on.
Well, talking of potential fights, I think I saw something that Eddie Hearn said a few days ago about a fight between yourself and I think Ferreira. He said that Ferreira is looking to not wait around, and just looking at your career, you're not looking to wait either. So is that a fight potentially we could see soon?
100%, but I think Eddie needs to do a lot better job. He's got the Olympic silver medalist on before the bell. That's a joke. If me and her fought, I guess he would have us on the first fight on the card. Do you know what I mean? Like, the way that this is going, like, he's doing a terrible job at promoting the Olympic silver medalist. He's talking about me jumping in the ring with her. What, for pennies? Like, she's a great champion, and she's really, really good. I think she's possibly just as good as Mikaela Mayer, even better. She's really good, and he would have us fight for nothing. Like, that's ridiculous. Nah, that's not happening. Where me and Beatriz are going to be the faces of boxing. Like, we could take it over. So why are we going to fight now? And he's got on before the bell. I'm not fighting a person who he doesn't even think is good enough to put on the main card. Why he's delusional. And if it was the other way around, and if I was with him and Bia was with Sky Sports, he would not take that fight. So
Well, I think everything you said made perfect sense, but
it's just insane. Nah, that's not, when are we gonna fight on a York Arena, the first fight on the card? Like, we want to be fighting at the O2 Arena. That's a great fight. Me and Bia it'll be non-stop punching. It'll be action-packed. We should be headlining, co-maining at least. For good money. That's a great fight. Let's get it on. I would do it 100%. But he's got a better job to do. He has to do a way better job than that.
Well, let's talk about your brother Daniel for a bit. He's got quite a big fight coming up in Alexander Usyk. I mean, is your brother the man to finally beat Usyk, to finally take that man's L? Or give him his first L?
I think boxing's a very up and down sport, and I genuinely think anything can happen. We've seen it before. We've seen it time and time and time again. Andrew Ruiz was the first man to beat Anthony Joshua, and he did it in great fashion. I'm not saying that Daniel's only opportunity is a one-punch knockout. I think Daniel's skills are very underrated. Sometimes when he gets in the ring, he forgets about the skills and just chases the knockout a bit too much. And that could be to his detriment, but he definitely has the skills and he has the ability. Just have to remember when he steps in the ring, I think it's a very 50-50 fight. I will be surprised. I will not be surprised if he knocks him out.
Well, the last question. It's been a pleasure speaking to you so far, but just tell me, picture this. It's Christmas, you're with your family, you're around the fire. I don't know if you have a fire, but anyway... Tell me, what has Caroline Dubois...
Fire.
Yeah, the furniture fire, exactly. What has Caroline Dubois done by the end of the year?
I would love to have maybe 2-3 more fights if I possibly can squeeze them in by the end of this year. 2 more fights, 3 more fights. I want to stay as busy as possible. I want, come the new year, I want everyone to be screaming for the Mikaela Mayer fight. So for that to happen, I need to put on 2 really, really, really standout, breakout performances. I need to get, really a lot of fuzz behind me. And That's what I aim to do. I want to get a belt by the end of this year, maybe an interim, maybe a European. We'll see what's available. I know Estella Mosley's got the IBO, but she's gone back to the Olympics. I think she should vacate. You know, she shouldn't muck around with those belts anymore. You know, she's chasing the Olympic dreams. I respect that, but then, you know, she needs to vacate the IBO, and then I can fight for the IBO.
Well, that sounds like the perfect plan. But anyway, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. I've been Lyndon Dixon. She's been Caroline Dubois, and we will see you on the next one.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.